Welcome to my Asshole Podcast. Let's get into it. Welcome to my Asshole Podcast. Today is Tuesday, and boy, if you read the title of today's episode, we got a bit of a juicy one for you. We're going to be covering Love is Blind. Alright, I know I do Love is Blind every single year. I've been doing it every single year since 2023 anyway. And I've been covering it. I love the show, love the juiciness, the drama, all that good stuff. And we're going to talk about all of it with you guys and what I think. You know what I mean? Because a lot has happened this season, but a lot hasn't really happened this season. All right. It's weird. It's weird. Like, there are probably two standout couples that really kind of took the show by storm, if I'm being honest with you. And then obviously we had like a couple kind of just in the background with, I think it was Vic and Christine. And we're not even going to be really talking about them just because everybody's like, it is what it is. They were boring. They didn't get a lot of screen time. So we're not really going to talk about them because there's really nothing to talk about them. Now, there's a lot of hearsay about them. There's a lot of hearsay that like, because of production cuts, they couldn't go to Cabo because of apparently Christine's mother was dealing with some issues, I guess, as far as medical wise, that she, couldn't be there to film all the time. They didn't even live in one of the little little apartments that they live in for 3 weeks. Apparently they ended up getting I believe Chris and Jessica's after they broke up on like the last week and stuff. So there's a lot of hearsay, there's a lot of stuff going around and stuff, but I do have some videos and stuff like that we're gonna like react to and whatnot. Maybe they're videos you've seen, maybe they're videos you haven't. Mainly a lot of them are about like the first guy, so we'll kind of just jump on into it. So, like, Alex, he's been the talk of the town. I ain't gonna lie to you, he's been the talk of the town. Dude is just catching strays left and right, and rightfully so. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. This is what I call the glorified bum. All right, this man right here is what I call the glorified bum. And the reason I call him a glorified bum is only because it's like, bro, you don't have a job, but you say that you have all these jobs. You're not really doing anything, but you say you're doing all these things. And so we have a video that perfectly, and I mean perfectly, encompasses like what it is this dude, the life of this guy really is. All right. So like, I'm going to show you guys this video. And I think you guys will be able to kind of understand what the fuck I am talking about when it comes to this guy, all right? So here, we're going to...
5 years, I see myself living in Florida with a phenomenal house, potential trust in Dubai, and a safe house in Queenstown, New Zealand.
What did he say?
Ashley and I are getting along phenomenally. I think Ashley's a phenomenal person. I love that. Love that. I love that. Love that. I love that.
You're so dangerous, Ashley. Dangerous moving forward.
Yeah, you're dangerous.
Ugh.
Very dangerous. Dangerous. Dangerous.
Brother, ugh.
Dangerous over here.
What's that?
I'm in trouble. I'm in trouble.
What's that, brother?
Dangerous eyes already. Eye contact is dangerous. How we doing? 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 Yeah? 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 There's home. I feel like home. Yeah?
Just threw up in my mouth a little bit.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Be cool, yeah. Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah. Can I go sit?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I have a lot of self-confidence. I'm confident in it. Still confident. I feel confident. I'm very comfortable. Confident in who I am and what I bring to the table. I think I bring a level of confidence. Why didn't you fuck me last night? Like, why didn't you fuck me last night? No. I think you guys know I make decisions intuitively. It does feel, relatively normal for me. I've lived this type of lifestyle before. I'm very comfortable in situations like this, so I do feel more comfortable in that. I'm very comfortable. I'm not nervous. Like, I'm not necessarily feeling nervous when it comes to it. I'm not necessarily nervous. There are no nerves on my end. I'm not nervous about it. I don't think there's anything to be nervous about.
Not the cap.
There's nothing to be afraid of in my end. I don't feel as though there's anything to be nervous about. I'm excited for the future, but like nervous, I think it's like a weird word.
You're weak, you're afraid, and you're a liar.
I was an athlete, and I hang out with, ex-professional athletes or professional athletes as well.
I party with John Kennedy and Madonna all the time.
It's exactly like winning the championship. Everything for me goes back to soccer. Like, you can't plan out how the game's going to go. You just play it. Stoicism helps out as well. I like Stoicism. Letters to a Stoic by Epictetus. The Alchemist.
The guy who wrote Catcher in the Rye, Nat King Cole, Carrot Top.
Being more like a nomad. Nomadic dynamic.
The nomadic lifestyle.
You feel like I've been as open with you as well, like nomadically correct. See like the traveling, bouncing around. Yeah, I'm happy to run it back with you. I'm happy to cut that off if it's an issue. Do you want me to explain it again? I'd have to again look at that. Like, I can pull up my Airbnb if you would like, and we can go through it together. Do you want my license?
Screw you. I mean, who are you?
You get 3 great women in your life. Your first love's the one that's like puppy love. College is more puppy love. The second one breaks you. The Chicago relationship was more the one that you learned as well. As well. I feel like I'm talking like an idiot here. In 5 years, I see.
All right, so we'll go back. So yeah, dude is just capping all over the place, bruh. All right, dude is straight capping all over the place. It's just like, bro, come on, man. Like, what are we doing here? You know what I mean? And so, like, the video illustrates pretty much that this dude says the same things over and over and over again because he believes the lies that he tells so much that for some reason he thinks that just like saying it more times is just going to make it true. It's one of those things where it's like, oh yeah, the sky is green. Did I tell you the sky is green? Do you know that the sky is green? I can't believe that you didn't know the sky is green. The sky is green. Like, that is how this guy operates. You know what I mean? And our poor girl Ashley over here, she's kind of just like, yeah, sure, that's fantastic, and that's great. Yay! Like, I don't understand why she doesn't really stick up for herself. Now, okay, maybe she looks at it like, I can't prove that she's lying. So she kind of looks at it like, all right, like, I don't know if you're lying, but obviously, we all saw the episodes, and when he talked about his, I guess, life a little bit before, or previous relationships before Love is Blind, his story didn't really line up. He was like, oh yeah, I was in Ohio and I was doing this and that, or Cleveland or some shit. And then he was like, then I went to Texas, but I was only there for a little bit, and then I saw this girl and I hooked up with her, but like, I didn't really hook up with her like that. And then when we get to the further episode where, that one girl is just like, oh yeah, you were living with that girl for a minute. And she was like, wait, oh, what? You were what now? You were doing who and where? I thought you said you were just there for the F1 game. And she was just like, oh, no. He was like, oh, no. Like, we were just kind of like, I told you we were hooking up. Did I not? The thing is like, nigga, you can't sit there and like tell this choppy ass story, and then when it kind of comes out completely different from somebody else, you're sitting there like, well, I and I told you this though, but like, what do you mean? And so it's like, dude, I just don't believe that you even believe the shit that's coming out of your mouth, and that's why you say it so many times. And that's what that video, like I said, was illustrating, that the fact that he kept saying it over and over and over and over and over again to kind of just like, he doesn't even think that the people he's saying it to believes him. So he's just like, okay, the more that I say it, the more it sounds believable. The more they'll believe me. The more Ashley will be like, it's okay. Yeah, no, it's totally fine. Like, I'm sorry, but I do hope she says no. I really, if I'm being honest with you. Now, Ashley's also got her problems too. I ain't going, you know what I mean? You ain't getting off the barbecue grill, Ashley. All right, you gonna get thrown right on there with your mans. Okay? Because, look, she's the type of girl that I feel is like, she doesn't really put anything into the relationship. And she's the type of girl that is like, I'm just going to be here, and then you just like make stuff happen. And then like, I will feel how I feel for you to make stuff happen. Example, when they were talking about the whole sex thing. All right. Something that she could have initiated, by the way. You know what I mean? It's like, bro, as a guy, I don't have to always initiate. I don't want to always initiate. You know what I mean? So if I don't want to always initiate, sometimes I want my girl to initiate. So it's like, I was kind of on Alex's side with that, where he was just like, well, why didn't you just fuck me then? You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, Ashley, why didn't you? But I think the reason is because she's just so used to like, I'm just here and things just happen and I'm just waiting for things to happen, you know? And in a relationship, that type of dynamic is just brutal. It is brutal being in that kind of dynamic with a girl, because as a guy, it's one of those things where it's never enough. So it's like, if she has a problem and I address the problem and I change it and I start doing those things, then she's like, okay, well, why didn't you did that, but why didn't you make this happen? Oh, but you did that, and like, now you're not doing this, or now, you know, I want you to do that and then something else. You know what I mean? They're always moving the goalpost with that kind of, and I understand why she is that way. I do. And it's because of her parents. You know what I mean? And this is no shade to her parents or anything, or how she grew up. I think, you know, she was brought up in a household that kind of just gave her everything she wanted. She was very coddled, very protected, stuff like that, which is great. There's nothing wrong with that. But also, you have to also teach, I would say you need to teach your daughter to know how to be a partner. You know what I mean? Not just sit around and wait for things to happen to you. Like, no, like when you're in a relationship with somebody, like you have to, there are things that you need to do on your end. And I think that's something that she has never been taught, or she doesn't even know that is kind of going on. And I think that's where she's like falling short, if I'm being real with you. And so that for me, I was just like, Ashley, baby girl, what are we doing? You know, like I think she has like the potential to be a great wife, but I think there are things that she still kind of has to work on. There is another video I do want to show you guys. It is a video of when Alex was meeting Ashley's dad and he was talking about his grandparents and everything like that. There is a video that talks about like the, I guess, real side of it. And so this is that video. I guess they actually looked it up, and so this girl talks about it. So here, I'll let you guys listen to that video.
I have found Alex's married at 14 years old grandparents. They were not 14. I'm going to tell you how I know. And I'm going to walk you through my process of how I made sure this was correct. This happened on episode 7.
How old did your grandfather live to be?
67. My grandmother passed early as well.
How long were they married?
50 plus years, I believe. It was probably 53 realistically.
He was 60 what when he died?
No, 67. I was told a 50-year marriage from my aunt. He was hitting on my grandmother. He was working business at the time.
The math obviously is not mathing. They got married and the guy already has a career at 14. That's dumb. His grandparents were married for over 50 years. That part is correct. I'm going to tell you how I know. One of my followers sent me their obituaries. Morbid, I know. But once they sent me the obituary, I went and cross-checked everything that was in both of them to make sure this was the same Alex we are watching on Love is Blind. This is his grandfather's obituary. Don't judge me. I was sent it and I'm just fact-checking. Anyway, 82 is his age. He was married for 50 years to Mary Elizabeth Jessen, grandfather of Molly Atchison, Drew Atchison, Alec Farrell, and Samuel Farrell. This is his grandmother, 75. Confirms Jack, husband for 50 years, Molly Atchison, Drew Atchison, Alec Farrell, and Samuel Farrell. And it also says in Westlake, Ohio. Here's his soccer draft announcement. His name was Alec Farrell at the time when he was playing soccer in Westlake, Ohio. Son of John and Kristen, has one sister, Katie, two brothers, Ben and Sam. The same in the obituaries. Katie, his sister, posted this with the same last name, picture of him playing soccer for Wake Forest. I was going to say Alex did an interview talking about his last name, but it was really just his podcast because, of course, he started a podcast. Alex basically said his stepfather legally adopted him when he married his mom. They didn't like each other. He changed his name back to his birth name, which is Alex Henderson. I don't know why the Alec versus Alex thing was changed. Usually, like, it would just be the last name, but whatever. People were, like, speculating about Alex had, like, hired an actor to play his mom. This person says, bad news, it's definitely his mom, LOL, that's my aunt. In another comment, she replies, talking about the grandparents, saying, unfortunately for him, LOL, he misspoke. Our grandparents were married for 50 plus years, but they died at 75, grandma, and 85, grandpa. It was 82, but whatever. Her name is Molly Atchison. There is Molly Atchison. And the grandfather's Molly Atchison is right there. I guess his other siblings are from a different relationship. That concludes my investigation. All that really happened is he is blaming his aunt for giving him the wrong wrong information. That's what my aunt told me. Not even being like, that math doesn't add up. That would mean they were 14. Huh? Maybe they were older. I don't know. Just admit you don't know. Everything about this man doesn't pass a critical thinking common sense check. He doesn't know his own grandparents' ages, yet he's deciding to tell this story in great detail, and that was his real mom. I guess he's just bad at math, which is hilarious.
Alright, so, yeah. So, like I said, when you take that story into account, it's like, think about everything that I've, like, said up until now, where it's like, he says things over and over again to get other people to believe it, because he himself doesn't even believe it or doesn't even know. And I feel like I've already given you guys 2 videos to prove like that this dude is just clearly on this show for clout. He's on this show to pretty much, like, he's not on this show to marry Ashley. He's on this show to get clout. He's on this show to start a career. He's on this show so that way he can build some type of following, so that way he can then travel and, you know, do social media. You know what I mean? And it really upsets me when, like, people go on TV and go on these type of shows with that kind of mindset. It's annoying to me. It really, really is. It's super annoying because it takes away from the show. It's like, dude, I want to see people who are actually like low-key trying to fall in love, and they're, you know, having issues and they're having problems and they're working it out and they're figuring it out and this and that. Like, I enjoy that. I like that. But I hate when you like find a couple and it's just blatant, obvious. It's just obvious. You're like, yeah, nah, this dude's, you know, fucking piece of shit. He's probably just there for the clout. And you're just like, bruh. You know, so, again, like I said, if he can't even get the story of his grandparents right, how the fuck he's going to get the story about the F1 and where he was living and all that stuff to Ashley right? How in the hell is he going to, you know, get really any of it right? Like, how do you know he's not lying to you about things? You know what I mean? It's just like, that's why I'm like, Ashley, girl, you got to run away, man. Like, I hope they say no in the weddings. You know what I mean? Obviously, I believe this will go up before the wedding. Oh, actually, this might go up after the weddings, actually. Because I believe the weddings are on the 4th. So actually, no, this will go up a day before the weddings. So this episode will be up a day before the weddings. I'll probably do a little quick thing, on Sunday about it. And that way we can kind of talk about it. So this episode will come out and then the weddings will be tomorrow. So I hope Alex, like I said, and Ashley don't get married. And I'm sure you guys agree with me on that one. I ain't gonna lie to you. Okay. So we got Chris, we got the bad man himself. God damn it, dude. The bad man, Chris himself. Now, there wasn't a lot of videos on him because I think like everybody's unilaterally just like, everybody's kind of just unilaterally like, all right, we don't really like this dude. Now, a lot of people don't like him because of what he said about Jessica's body. All right. Everybody's like, oh, you know, he's POS because he is like, oh, you know, I want a girl that does Pilates and works out and all that kind of stuff, whatever. Now, where I have a problem with that is the fact that it's like, bro, how you gonna sit there and like all of Cabo, all of you guys is what, first week or two in the apartment, you're like telling her how beautiful she is and all that kind of. Maybe he was trying to like see it and you know, go through and all that kind of stuff. Maybe that's what he was trying to do. I don't know, but I know for me, when I saw her, I'm like, she's unattractive. You know what I mean? A lot of people try to sit there and be like, oh, she's beautiful, she's gorgeous, blah blah blah, and I'm just like, no, she's not. She's very unattractive. She's got no ass. She ain't got no titties. You know what I mean? She got a decent face, but like, bro, like she's a 4 at best. Sorry to say it, bro. She's a 4 at best. I'll put her on screen. Like, she's a 4 at best. I'm sorry, man. I'm just going to be honest. She is. I wouldn't be able to find her attractive either. Now, I think Chris stayed as long as he did because of her personality and they got to know each other to a deeper degree and stuff like that. But, bro, looks matter, man. Looks matter. And then what a lot of people aren't addressing is the fact that she's 39, bro. All right? And that nigga Chris ain't trying to be with a 39-year-old woman, man. He's not. Let's be real. Like, okay, even if he didn't do this, right? And he took it all the way to the altar, that woman would have put a dress on. She would have went to that wedding just for him to say no regardless. Because if I'm being honest with you, bro, even if she, let's say she did, have a little curve to her or whatever. Let's say she did. All right. And he was able to be like, you know what? I can work with this. He would still say no. Why? Because I don't think he wants to date an older woman. I don't think he wants to be married to an older woman. You know what I mean? I just don't think he does. I think Chris is the type of guy that looks at age and youth as a big thing. And you want to know what confirms that is that when the girls were talking at the little mixer thing at the bowling alley, guess what they were saying? They were then saying, oh, did you see that Chris made a new Instagram? He bought a bunch of bot followers, and then he posted a story of him at the strip club, and then he was like trying to pick up some young 23-year-old girl. And so that right there leads me to believe that, like, yes, Jessica's age definitely played into the factor that he was not into her because of her age. But I think what it was is he looked at it like, I don't want to say that because that might be worse than the whole like body thing, because he might have looked at it like, if I tell her, hey, maybe get in the gym, maybe, do this and that, like something she can actually work on, because her age ain't something she can work on. You know what I mean? Her age is like, bro, it is what it is. You know what I mean? So it's like that's throwing a stone at a glass house. Like, what are we doing? That's not going to fix anything. But I think he looked at it like, if I tell her, work out more and Pilates and we can do it together and all that kind of stuff, it might change some shit and, her body might change or whatever. And I think that's kind of where he was coming from. I don't know. It was a mixed bag situation, but initially I was kind of just like, me too, fam. Me too. I don't really find her attractive either. Like, I agree. I'm sure she has a great personality, fantastic person to talk to, but it's like, I'm sure you get them clothes off and it's just like, this is it. This is what we're working with. Like, let's just be real. I'm sorry to say it, but that's the truth. And nobody wants to fucking say it. I don't know why, but nobody wants to say it. I get it. Chris is a bigger villain, but it's like, sometimes a broken clock is correct twice a day. You know what I mean? Now let's go back to when he was at the bowling alley thing and he was trying to talk to Bree. Bro, that was probably the most cringiest fucking conversation I'd ever seen a man say to a girl. And the thing was, is she was into it. Like, what the fuck? I'm like, why are you into this? But see, I got a theory about Brie, and we'll poke into that theory when we get to her. But I got a theory about her. But that was very cringy. And then he continues. The king of cringe continues. You want to know how he continues? He then pulls Jessica aside. You know what I mean? She walks her flat booty on over to that couch over there, and he's over here like, oh, you're gorgeous. Oh, you're so pretty. Oh, you, I just have to tell you, you look great tonight. And it's like, nigga, shut up. Because you don't even believe that. You know what I mean? Like, you're throwing out these empty platitudes, just hoping it fucking sticks. And you are hoping that Jessica didn't see you over there with Bree, chopping it up and trying to get in her panties. Like, bruh, come on, man. What are we doing here? You sound dumb. Like, that was probably the craziest thing to me, because I'm like, bro, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing here? You know what I mean? Like, you go from Bree and you're having this like sexually charged conversation, and everybody knows you're having a sexually charged conversation. Like, let's be honest. And then you're over here trying to talk to Jessica and being like, you're pretty and this and that, and oh my God, I'd tell you you're pretty, blah, blah, blah. Like, she's going to just be like, oh my God, thank you for telling me I'm pretty. We should totally like try this again. Nigga. And then, did you think it stops there? Oh, baby, it doesn't stop there. Because you want to know what else? You want to know what else? He then goes up to Connor. And he's like, oh, what's up, man? What's going on, pimp? How you doing? Oh, yeah, a little dap up. And I'm just like, nigga, who the fuck do you think you are? Seriously. Who do you think you are? Because if a man was over there trying to talk to my girl, get her to go to the Four Seasons and massage her and do all this dumb shit, and then you want to go and act stupid to your ex that clearly don't want you back, but for some reason you thought she wanted you back. And then you come to me trying to dap me up, talk about, oh, what's up, dog? What's going on, fam? How you doing? Fuck out my face, bro. Fuck out my face. I would have socked him. I ain't gonna lie to you. If it wasn't cameras, I would have socked him, bro. I'm like, who the fuck do you think you are, bro? That's crazy to me. That is some crazy shit. So, yeah. I mean, honestly, look, with Jessica, I feel like we didn't really have too much. Like, I didn't really get to know her too much. I think she was really in this experiment to get married. I think she looked at it like, bro, I'm really in this 110%, like she said. She was really trying to get married. And I think she was kind of willing to take any guy that would just fucking take her, if I'm being real. And that's kind of why she got such a shitty dude, if I'm being honest with you. And it's just like, it's kind of sad. It is. It's very sad because I feel bad for her, but at the same time, it's like, baby girl, you know what I mean? You can't, you gotta be at least a little picky, just a little bit, just a tiny bit, you know what I mean? But I get it. She did get blindsided. She did get like definitely bamboozled, but at the same time, it's like, you know, sweetheart, like you gotta be kind of honest and objectively honest with yourself sometimes. I don't think women are very objectively honest with themselves a lot of times and really understand their actual level of attractiveness to a guy, because it's like, I think Chris looked at it like, yeah, you're attractive enough to have sex with, but you're not attractive enough to like be in a relationship with. I guarantee you, if Chris and Jessica met at a bar, that would be like a one night stand and Jessica would be wondering why he's not calling her back. You know, like that's really how that relationship would go. And you know what I mean? That's just kind of where it is. But yeah, I do think that she was definitely in this like, oh, I'm trying to get married. Trying to get fucking married, 100%. Okay, and then we have Connor. They are bashing my boy Connor. Okay? I don't know why. I really don't. Because Connor and Jordan... All right, I'll put Jordan on screen. I think he's in here somewhere. There he is. So we have Connor and Jordan. These two dudes right here are like the cookie cutter white guy, you know what I mean? Dad bod, you know, football Sunday type dudes. You know what I mean? Like they're the cookie cutterist dudes. And for some reason, women are like, oh, you know, don't believe like this guy is a catch and stuff like that. Like Bree was so right in not wanting to be with him because, and here, I wasn't going to do this video because it's kind of long, but we'll go through a little bit of the video. I'm not going to play the whole thing. I won't play the whole thing, but I will play just like a little bit of it. And I'll kind of let you guys go through it. Because to me, it's one of those things where I'm like, I thought Connor was a great guy. I thought Connor was there to really get married. He looked at it like, bro, I'm in a time in my life where I have shit put together. There's not a lot of guys my age that have their shit together, which is crazy. There's a lot of guys that are, you know, 30 to 35 that just don't have their shit together. And it is what it is. You know, there's a lot of guys that don't. And he's like, I'm one of those guys that does. And since I do have my shit together, I want to get married. I want to be serious with somebody. And it sucks that he did get paired with Bree. And it really sucks because it's just like, I thought he wasn't really being fake. He wasn't really being extra. He was kind of just being cookie cutter fucking white guy, if I'm being honest with you. But we're going to watch the video. I'll play maybe like a minute or two of it. And then you guys tell me what it is that like you think, hearing, I guess, my side of it, where I'm more defending the guy, where he's like, I thought he was a great dude. I thought he was fantastic on the show. He really exhibited that, hey, I'm on this experience and this show to actually get married. I'm not trying to bullshit nobody. Like, Bree, I took you seriously, even though, you know, you be looking crazy sometimes, you know? But still, it's like, so here, I'm gonna quit yapping. So we're going to get into it right now. I'm going to quit yapping. The video is right here, okay?
My honest to God problem with the way that y'all are drooling over this man is that so many of y'all would sell your soul for male validation. As this comment very rightfully points out, Connor's not some amazing catch. He is not an unproblematic king just because he has a crush on a woman. And a lot of y'all are so used to being unliked and despised by the men that you're with that you would actually be really, really thankful to have a man like Connor in your life. And it's all.
And see, the thing is she's over here talking about like, oh, why are you guys glazing him because he has a crush on a woman? It's not because he has a crush on a woman. It's because he's gonna marry her. The fuck are we talking about? Like, he's giving this woman the highest honor a man can. That is marrying you. Now, it would be different if they were just like boyfriend, girlfriend. Okay? If they were glazing this nigga over being boyfriend, girlfriend with this girl, alright, I'd be like, facts. You right. 100%. But no. He was gonna marry this woman. Get the fuck out of here with that. You know what I mean? Like, come on. That's crazy. And then the fact that, like, she is bad talking other women is wild to me, where it's like, she's just like, wow, you bitches don't get male validation so much that you're willing to just take the bare minimum. He wasn't giving the bare minimum. Did you not watch the show? Nigga bought her flowers every day. Nigga took her on really nice dates, thoughtful dates at that. Dude was not problematic whatsoever. Why? Because he had his shit together. That's the thing. And that's what he was saying in episode 10. He's like, bro, I have my shit together. I'm not like these little boys that you be dating. I understand who I am. I know who I am. I know what I bring to the table. I know the type of man that I am. I know what I am meant to do. You know what I mean? I'm not playing this game of relationships anymore. Like, I know what a healthy relationship looks like. I know what it takes to be a man in that relationship, and I understand what it takes to make that relationship flourish, and that's what I'm going to do. Why? Because he's probably gone through a lot of relationships, he's probably gone through a lot of experiences, he's probably talked to a lot of friends and family, and he's really understood what it takes to be a good fucking husband. And it's like, why wouldn't you glaze him for that? I would say he was going above and beyond, but I don't know. Let's continue.
Almost like y'all don't realize that he is just another man. He was one of those men, I think, that went on this show with like a master plan in mind. Because he's already cashing in on all this. He's already posting like cute little bashful little TikToks. Like,
yeah, so is Alex. So is all the girls. So is everyone from previous seasons. Like, come on, bro. Seriously? That was his master plan. Bro, look, if I went on Love is Blind, think about it like this. If I went on Love is Blind, right? And I was really looking for love. You know, I didn't care about being on TV. I didn't care about any of that stuff. And I was really looking to find my wife, and she dumps me before the weddings. Yeah, I'm going to get the bag. The fuck are we talking about? Of course. My wife left me. Like, what the fuck are we talking about? If we actually got married at the end of this, then her and I would be getting the bag. Like what the? Why would you demonize a guy for taking advantage of an opportunity that clearly you're trying to take advantage of as well? You know what I mean? That's like me sitting here saying, like, all these other dudes that do podcasts, losers, bro. Fucking losers, man. They're just doing it for the money. They're just doing it for the clout, man. The fuck am I doing it for? Like, come on. You see what I mean? You see the hypocrisy? You know what I mean? It's like, bro, how you gonna get on a public platform and sit there and be like, oh, he took advantage of an opportunity that he got. Like, bitch, get the fuck out of my face.
Love is Blind for real to some of y'all. It could be in your face and you're still like, he's so sweet and unproblematic. The same man who literally said about the woman he was going to marry that she never shuts up, that she annoys him. And this is the big catch. And I think it's scary that y'all can't recognize a man who is jealous and waiting in the wings to humble you. Because I guarantee you the only thing that going through with this marriage/engagement would have led her to is being one of those wives that ends up posting on TikTok talking about, I had kids and my husband switched up on me. I thought, oh,
yeah, which is probably what happened to you. Get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? Like, bro, you is mad hating, son. You are mad hating. Like, this bitch is mad fucking hating. And this is why I'm just like, bruh, you can't sit there and say, like, every guy No matter who you are, even the ladies listening to this right now, your husband has called you annoying. Like, there is no guy on planet Earth that's not going to call you fucking annoying. Like, what are you talking about? What the fuck do you mean? You act like just because he said, oh yeah, you're annoying, oh my god, she won't shut up, da da da, like, yeah, because she was annoying. Yeah, all women are fucking annoying and don't shut up. They talk all the time. Like, bro, that's just a thing. That's in every relationship. It doesn't matter what guy you date. They're going to tell you you're fucking annoying. Like, what do you mean? And then you want to throw that thing, oh, well, if she got married, then she would be the type of girl that was on TikTok and was like, oh my God, I have all these kids by this dude and he left me. I guarantee you Connor wouldn't fucking leave you. I guarantee you she would be the one that left Connor. Like, there's no way. There's no way he's leaving her. The fuck? Because if it was that way, he would have pulled a Chris. But he didn't. So, like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And see, that's what I mean. It's like, bro, you're just bashing for bash sakes. And to me, it's dumb because you for some reason look at this guy and you think to yourself, like, oh, he's not all that. Oh, that's bare minimum. All this and that. That type of female behavior is fucking retarded, you know, and should be punished, I'm being honest with you. Because it's like, bro, no woman who thinks like that, you know what I mean, who sees a guy like Connor, you know, cookie cutter, regular guy, you know, he's got his shit together, you know, of course, he's not going to be 100% spiffy and amazing. But it's like at the same time, he's treating you well. He's doing things for you. He's making the relationship work. When you guys have fights, he communicates and talks to you. Like, these are the things that matter, guys. These are the things that matter. You're taking like the 5% of the relationship and you're like, see this 5% right here? This 5% is way more. Way more than the 95% over there. The 95%, it doesn't matter. No. And that's the problem with a lot of women right now, is they look at the percentage that of their man that they don't have versus looking at the percentage of the man that they do have. You know what I mean? Because if I'm being honest with you, a lot of men, like I said, they're not going to put 100% into it. I don't think anybody puts 100% into relationships anymore, if I'm being really honest with you. I just don't think they do. You know what I mean? It's too easy to stray. It's too easy to have a wandering eye. It's too easy to fall into situations. It's just too easy to do that nowadays. The internet has proven that. The internet has proven that we as a society can no longer be in relationships that are monogamous. You know what I mean? And the internet has proven that. It's just it's a simple fact, and it's on male and female side, if I'm being real with you. But I digress. It goes to show that like nobody's partner is ever going to be 100%. And that's just what it is. But if you got a guy that's giving you 95% and you're just like, but the 5%, he should be demonized for this 5%, is crazy to me. Is crazy to me. You know what I mean? Like, that's wild. Like, come on, bro. And then I guarantee you, because she's seen so many women who leave their guy, because the fact that in episode 10 that Bree left him goes to show you that if they got married, she would have been the one to file for divorce, not him. Like, fuck are you talking about? We'll listen to a little bit more of it, but it's like, bro, you're absolutely retarded.
Was getting together with a hardworking guy, and all he wants to do is play video games and turn our garage into a man cave. Even though he already has a bedroom, a guest room, a game room, a keg out front, he also needed a freaking man cave in the garage. Like, literally, the man is not even thinking of a future, you know?
And he is thinking of a future. You want to know why he's thinking of a future? Because he has a fucking house. He has a fucking house. That's something that a lot of men don't have. He has a house. So, like, boo-hoo if he wants to do something with his house. You know what I mean? Like, bro, what the fuck? What are you talking about? Like, again, you're nitpicking. You're in the 5%. You haven't said anything of substance of why this guy is bad. Nothing. Nothing. You've said nothing. At all. I've given you guys 5 good reasons on why he is a good dude. You know what I mean? Like, and we'll go through them. Oh, you don't believe me? Oh, okay. That's cool. Let's go through them then. All right. Whenever they had fights, he was always the one to communicate, calm her down, talk to her, and get through it. He bought her flowers all the time. He maybe not every day, but he was doing them at least once a week, and that was actually confirmed by Brie. Okay, that was actually confirmed by her. I believe it was in episode 8. Episode 8 or 9, she confirmed that. She was like, "Oh my God, it's so sweet that he like buys me flowers all the time." And I think she said it again in the train scene as well, because they were kind of talking about their lives and whatnot, and Brie was just like, "Yeah, like a guy that buys me flowers all the time, like that's really great." So she confirmed that he buys them flowers. Then you have a guy that is well put together. Okay, he's got a house, he's got a good job, he ain't got crazy shit going on, whatever the case may be. No crazy past, nothing like that. You know, not that we've seen, not that we found out. He ain't got no crazy girlfriend that's trying to blow his spot up on fucking Instagram and shit like that. Like, you know, somebody, trust me, we'll get to him. You know, he doesn't have any of that going on. Then we have Thor. All right. The thing about Connor is that, again, he's actually on this show to find love. He's not on this show to do anything, to like get a bag out of it or anything like that. I would argue the only reason he's doing it now is because his girl left. You know what I mean? So he looks at it like, why not? Why not? Because I guarantee you, bro, people were blowing him up in the DMs. They were blowing him up. Like, why did she leave you? What happened? Like, why would she leave you? You're a great guy. What's going on? Blah, 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 blah. Like, what happened? Was there something that happened off screen that made her break up with you? So on and so forth. Is her and Chris talking? You know what I mean? Did they get together after that? Like, I guarantee people were blown up. So he looked at it like, well, since I'm like that guy, I'm that nigga right now, might as well take advantage of it. It's just an opportunity. It is what it is. And I would argue, even in previous seasons, whether they didn't get married, you think about Marshall's online all the fucking time. Are you going to say he was on there being a mastermind? You going to say Marshall's a mastermind? That nigga's always on there. Are you going to say Jordan from the last season where he had his little son? Are you going to say he's a mastermind? He's always on TikTok. You see how stupid that sounds? You see how idiotic and dumb you sound for calling out one person that's doing what everyone else is doing? Like, you're fucking retarded. All right? Let's be honest. Like, bitch, you're retarded. Because you're going to call out a guy for doing everything else that all the other cast members are doing. That's dumb. And being like, it's a master plan. Stupid. Shut up. And then 5, you have a guy who is willing to be there for you, even like stick up for you, even when some other guy is trying to steal his fucking girl. He could have just let you go. He could have just been like, man, nah. Like the fact that my thing is, look, and the reason why I give it its kind of own like category or whatever is because what I noticed is like, it seems like a lot of the dudes are very just, go with the flow. It is what it is. If I lose my girl, I lose my girl. It doesn't matter. Like, I think Connor was probably the only guy that actually really like fought for his girl. You know what I mean? Now it was like the other guys in jeopardy of having their girl stolen? Maybe. Alex kind of like alluded to that in Mexico, but then it didn't really go anywhere. I think he tried it, and then once he saw how it failed, he was just like, shit. Because he talked to Brittany at the little pool party and was just like, oh yeah, she's not really my type. Like, I like a girl that's got a little more dark features and this and that and blah blah blah. Like, I like a girl like you, and she was just like, oh nah, that's nice that you said that and everything, but you know what I mean. The fact that like all these dudes kind of just have their eyes on other girls. You have what's his name? Chris. He's got his eyes on Brie the whole time. Like, I feel like he was the only dude. And like I said, we're gonna get to, obviously we're not including Vic in this. Okay, we're not gonna include him in any of that. All right, let's just be honest. But I mean, we're gonna get to like some of the other guys. You know what I mean? Where it's like I guess spoiler alert. That Devonta dude, you know what I mean? He has a girlfriend outside of all of this bullshit. You know what I mean? And there's a reason for that. And I have a video that'll explain it and show it and all that kind of stuff. Jordan, again, I lump him in with Connor. You know what I mean? I lump him in that same thing with Connor, where it's like he's got the same 5 fucking traits, where and he's got that same I fought for my girl trait. And you want to know when he fought for his girl? He fought for his girl when she got upset at the little bowling alley thing, because he was like, oh man, I'm really hesitant about meeting her daughter because I don't know if she's going to like me. And that's a really tough thing. And she got mad about that and wanted to mope and pout and all that bullshit. And then he stayed. You know what I mean? He stayed there. He waited for her. They had a conversation. I feel like bro fought for her. You know what I mean? He really did. He fought for her. And so, like I said, that's why I lumped them together kind of in the beginning of this episode, because I was like, they're that same like cookie cutter white dude that just is like, you know, blue collar job, you know what I mean? Sunday football and, you know, beer guts and drinking beer and blah, blah, you know what I mean? Like that's them. And so it's like for you to sit there and bash a dude who is it's just an average guy is crazy to me. You know, I'm not going to listen to more of this retard. I don't really care to listen to her anymore. So we're going to go back to our boy Connor over here. We're going to go back to him. Yeah, I'm done listening to that retard. She's fucking retarded and stupid. Because it's just like, bro, you're bashing a dude for being just a good guy on the show. That's crazy to me. All right, let's move on. Okay. Oh, we got our boy here. Okay, cool. Since we were talking about that anyway, let's go ahead and I will go ahead and pull up the video for this. I'm sure you guys see it on screen. All right, here we go.
So, breaking but not surprising news is Devontae Devo here has had a girlfriend the entire time. He told her he was only going on the show for brand deals. He cheated on her, and he will be announcing his engagement and pregnancy with her at the reunion.
All right, so yes, you heard it there. She even showed messages on screen of their situation and everything like that. So yeah, our boy over here. So apparently, what I've heard through the grapevine is a month before he got onto the show, or you know, he applied for the show, his girlfriend was pregnant. He said, I'm going to go on to this Netflix reality TV show to then get brand deals. Okay? She then looks up the show because she wants to know what kind of show her man's going to be on. Finds out that it's a love show. That you're supposed to find love and you potentially get married at the end. Well, ladies, you tell me. Would you want your man on a show where you're about to get married? Your man is going to get married on television to another person and they're kissing on this girl and doing like, you know what I mean? It's like, come on, bruh. Come on, man. That's crazy work. Okay. So that's what was kind of going on with him. Now, this is where I find it to be odd. Okay. Right. Now that we know this information, if you remember, when Brittany was having issues with him in Cabo, and she was just like, oh, he doesn't want to touch me, he doesn't want to kiss me, he doesn't want to hold me, all that kind of stuff. Like, bro, like, touch me, it's okay, whatever. Like, if you want to have sex, like, we can do that, blah, blah, blah. And now that makes sense. Because when I was watching them in Cabo, I'm like, nigga, why wouldn't you want to touch her? Why wouldn't you want to have sex? Now, at first, I justified it. At first, I did. I was like, well, Brittany did say that she didn't want to have sex until she got married to him. That would make me not want to touch her either. Okay? But why? Because why do men touch women? Because they want to have sex with them. Okay? Like, bro, even if I'm grabbing on your waist or I'm grabbing on, touching on your back, whatever, that I want to have sex with you. You know what I mean? So if you're over here like, I don't want to have sex until we're married and I want to like respect that boundary, then I'm going to limit my touch. I'm not going to stop touching you, but I'm just going to limit my touch. You know what I mean? And that's a normal thing. And that's how I justified it in my head. But no, I was completely wrong. 1000% wrong. No, it's because this nigga had a girlfriend the whole time that he was hoping to get back to. That's what it was. He had a girlfriend that he was hoping to get back to because the bitch is pregnant with his baby. So he's like, shit. You know what I mean? Like, I got to make this shit work. I got to figure this out. You know what I mean? That's some crazy work. If I'm being real with you, I ain't gonna lie to you. That's some absolutely crazy work. And so, let's fast forward to when him and Brittany are on the couch, and he's talking about his job, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I make $40,000 a month, and like, you know, it can be a lucrative job and all that kind of stuff." Okay, hold up, wait a minute, sir. Wait a minute. So you're telling me that you make anywhere between I believe he on his low end was like, I think like 15, 20,000, something like that. I might be miscorrect. I might be misquoting him, but I know it was kind of low. It was like 15,000 or whatever. But it was a big number nonetheless. But it was like 15,000 to like 40,000, something like that. But if you're making that kind of money a month, why are you on this show for brand deals? Explain that to me. You know what I mean? Explain that to me. Now, there was one season where there was a rich boy that was on the show and whatnot. And I think he was just on the show because, you know, he just wanted clout. Dude already had money. He just wanted clout. That's really kind of what that was. He had mommy and daddy's money. He just wanted clout and all that kind of stuff. But for this dude, it's like, okay, if you have a girlfriend and that said girlfriend is pregnant, and then you making $15,000 to $40,000 a month, okay? A month, not a year, a month. Why the fuck would you need to go on TV? Why would you need brand deals? You see that? You see how that's not adding up? That's not connecting there. We're like, what the fuck? You know, and that to me, I'm just like, okay, you got to be lying somewhere. There's somewhere you got to be lying. And if I'm being honest with you, I think it's about how much money he makes. I really do. I think it's about how much money he makes. I think he's lying about that because the situation that happened with him and Brittany, as far as Brittany being like, oh, he doesn't want to touch me, he doesn't want to kiss me, this and that, it further confirms that the story that we just heard on the video of him having a girlfriend and her being pregnant and all that kind of stuff, I think that's the more true story, if I'm being real with you. And the fact that he's just going on for brand deals. I don't think he's really making all that kind of money. And so since he's not really making all that kind of money, he's going ahead and he's going on to the show for brand deals. And that's really what is going down with him. And it's just like, bruh, like, what are we doing? You know what I mean? It's like, that's kind of crazy. So yeah. And then, you know, we got Brittany, you know, hey, hit me up, Brittany. What's up, girl? Like, I mean, hit me up. I'd date you, shit. You know, because I don't really have much to say about her. I think she, again, was just another one of those. I think she was like Jessica. She was just like Jessica, bro. She was on this show to get married. You know what I mean? She was on this show to find her man that she was going to get married to. And I think she looked at it like, I'm at a point where I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? I don't give a fuck to do is fat, short, you know, tall, small, whatever. I don't care. Like, I just need me a man. You know what I mean? And so, you know, it's one of those things where I really think that's kind of going on. I think that's how that is. And, you know, she just got the short end of the stick. Like, let's be honest. I don't think they're going to get married. I really don't think it's going to happen. I think if anything, she's not really going to feel the connection. And I think that's why she's going to say no. And then obviously Devontae, I think, is just going to come up with some bullshit on why he says no. Yeah. So I don't know who's going to say no first. But I definitely think they're both a no, because I think Brittany is just like, look, you know, you're not really that compatible with me. Like, you're not really, you know, I don't feel you're that into me. I don't feel that you're really like 100% in this for me. I think that it's just you have a lot to kind of work out or whatever it may be. I don't even think that she knows about the whole girlfriend pregnant situation. You know, so that's one of those things where it's just like, I think in that moment, she's just going to say no because she doesn't feel like he's really like invested and connected. And then I think he's going to say no because he's got all this other bullshit going on. Like, he's not here to marry her. He's here to get a bag. You know what I mean? And I think that's what it comes down to. Even if she says yes, I still think he's going to say no. Yeah. Just because he's like, I'm not here to get married. You know, I'm not here for that. And I think Alex is the same way, where he's like, bro, I ain't here to get married to you, Ashley. I'm here for the bag, baby. You know, like these dudes are going to get to the altar and they're going to say no. Even if the girl says yes. Even if Ashley says yes, Alex is going to say no. And that's just what it's going to come down to, you know, and same thing with them. Same thing with Brittany and Devo. He's going to say no. And even if she says yes, he's still saying no. All right. On to our next one. We got Mike. We got our Mike. Now, this dude, like, I don't know. He's, I feel like we didn't get to really know him because he and Emma harped so much. Bro, this was their entire airtime. So, like, I want to have kids. Oh, I don't really want to have kids. Well, if we have kids, I don't want you to resent them and resent me. Oh, well, I don't really want to have kids because I don't know if I'm going to pass something on. Man, I really want kids, though, because I really like to have kids. Oh, well, you know, it's going to be really hard for me to have kids because I'm adopted. You know, I get you're adopted, but, like, I really want to have kids. Bro, this was their entire airtime. They didn't talk about anything else. It was just kids. Like, I don't know you, nigga. Who are you? All I know is you're the kids guy. And I think everyone shares that sentiment. Everybody. Bro, it's like when you look at Mike, right? And you look at his journey through this thing. All it is this nigga, kids, 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 kids. I definitely want kids. I need some kids. It's like, nigga, we get that. Can you talk about something else? I get that's a big thing in marriage, okay? I get that, 1,000%. I get that that's a big thing. I get that that's something where, you know, it's a big part of being married. It's a big part of your life. You know, kids are not just this small thing. I get that. But if you have to harp on it this much, bro, that means she's not for you. I would have gotten out of that relationship, if I'm being honest with you, right after I met her parents. Okay? I'm sorry. I probably would have. After meeting her parents were great, and I think she was great with her parents and stuff like that. But the fact that she's so independent and she's just like, oh, you know, I could just like take this relationship or leave it. Like, I don't really care. And like, you know, kids are a huge deal with me. There's all these roadblocks and yada, yada. It's like, bro, you could figure all that out. Like, you can go get a medical test to see if, you know, your genes pass anything on. Like, you can go through, you know, like medical clinical things to, you know what I mean, ease a lot of those doubts. Like, you're just lazy and don't want to do it because what it is you just don't really want to have kids. Yeah, that's what it comes down to. Like, she talks herself into wanting to have kids, but I don't think that she does. And I think the reason why is because Emma is one of those types of people where she sees the world so differently than everybody else does that she doesn't really know who she is. Okay? Because think about it like this. She's a Chinese orphan that grew up in a white family, and she felt like the white family didn't even really love her like that. She just felt like they tolerated her and things like that. And, you know, and then she was able to kind of later on down the road realize like, oh, they do love me. Oh, they do care about me and things like that. I think she's so just jumbled up here. She hasn't really figured it out. I don't think she really, she knows who Emma is. You know what I mean? I think she's still trying to figure that out. And that's fine. That's understandable. I'm not saying that she's a bad person for that or like, but I don't think that she should be wanting to get married. You know, I don't think you should be wanting to like devote your life to somebody when you don't really know who you are. And I think she needs to figure that out kind of first. And once she figures that out, then she'll know, okay, this is the type of like marriage that I want. This is the type of life that I want. Like, even if she finds herself and it's still like, I don't want kids, that's fine. But at least you definitively know that. You're not going back and forth and being like, no, I really don't want kids because of X, Y, and Z. And then she's over here talking to Mike, well, you know, I can see us having kids. Like, I can see that, you know, future with us. Like, I know that's a future you want. You know, I can see it, this and that. And she's so flippy floppy and all that kind of stuff. And so it's just like, to me personally, I just feel she doesn't know who she is first. And I think once she figures that out, then it's like, okay, you're able to walk into a relationship and kind of understand. I don't know. I get it. She's had like a rough life to where she's kind of had to grow up very fast. She's kind of had to be in survival mode a lot more than other people have, just because she doesn't really have, that like type of support like she does, but she feels she doesn't, you know what I mean? Because of her, like adopted status and stuff like that. And she kind of just feels a little bit like an outsider, you know what I mean? Even though they try to make her feel like, hey, no, you're part of the family. It's okay. But she still feels different. She feels like the black sheep of the family. And that's okay. You know what I mean? That's fine. But I think she needs to work all those issues out first. And then once she works those issues out, then she could be in a relationship, And I think Mike is kind of at that point where he's like, okay, I've done soul searching. I've figured myself out. I understand what I want in a relationship. And I'm not going to bend nor break for nobody, you know what I mean, for what I want in a relationship. And I think that's where Mike is a little more mature than Emma in that, is where Mike understands like, yo, this is what I want. This is what it is. You either accept it or you don't. And it is what, you accept it or you don't. Like, I'm not going to sit here and force you, Emma, to like be with me. I'm not going to force you to want kids and all that kind of stuff. Like, I'm just telling you that I want kids. And this is a non-negotiable. This is what I want in my relationship. And if you don't want that, tell me. It's fine. It's okay. Like, I can deal with that. I can understand that. You know what I mean? And I think that's why he's single, is because Mike looks at it like, bro, I know what I want. And I'm not going to bend nor break. And a lot of women will expect men to kind of negotiate their little boundaries for them while they don't get to negotiate hers. You know what I mean? And so that's kind of the thing where I'm sure Mike is dealing with a lot of that in dating. And he kind of looks at it like, well, bro, you know what I mean? Fuck, I went on Love is Blind and I'm still kind of dealing with the same bullshit. Like, this fucking sucks. So, yeah, I think that's what it is with Emma. She just needs to figure herself out, bro. All right. Then we have our boy Jordan. I ain't got really too much bad to say about him. I think he's definitely on the show for love. He's trying to get married. He's the type of guy, I think he's just very misunderstood. You know what I mean? I really do. I think he's very misunderstood because he's a very like fun-loving, childish type guy, but he can be serious when he needs to be. And that was proven in episode 10 when old girl, I can't remember her name. I think it was named Amber. Yeah. Okay. When Amber was very upset about him, being a little hesitant about meeting her daughter. And she was all sad and this and that. And instead of acting like a child and, you know what I mean, it's storming off and being mad and this and that, no, he just sat calm and comfortably. And he said, when she's ready to come talk to me, she'll come talk to me. And then when he does talk to her, even when she's just bad mouthing the shit like, oh, men are terrible and men will do this to you and they're horrible and all they want to do is this and blah, 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 and they're horrible guys and they're just mean and this and that. And he's just like, I'm not that. That's not me. And I would like to have, felt like I've shown you that I'm not that guy, that I'm not the guys that you dated in the past. And, you know what I mean? He was able to talk her off that ledge. You know what I mean? And that was a level of maturity that you're not really seeing from any of the guys except for Connor. I'm being real with you. Any of the guys except for Connor. Like, I haven't seen that level of being able to just talk a woman down, aside from Connor. Connor was another one where he was just able to kind of talk it down. You know what I mean? And I was like, W for you. And so that's what I'm saying. It's one of those things where it's just like, I think he just gets very misunderstood. And that's what really sucks about him. It's like everybody thinks he's childish. Everybody thinks that, he can't be taken serious or he can't act serious in certain situations when he really can. And that was very proven. Very, very proven. Now, okay, this might be mean, but I really think Amber's a basket case. I'm sorry. I do. I think she's the type of woman that in her 20s, like in her early 20s, she was getting passed around. Okay, let's just be honest, bro. Like, I just feel like she was the type of woman that was just getting passed around. And that's why she has the view that she does on men, where she's just like, oh, men will only hurt you and men will just do bad shit to you and men are just horrible and this and that. You know what I mean? Like, you don't get that kind of mindset unless you have dealt with the like most horrible side of men. You know what I mean? Like you don't just deal casually with guys and you have that mindset. You don't. You really don't. You'll probably have one or two guys that have just been really bad, but you're able to kind of be like, you know what, those guys were bad. And not all men are bad. You know what I mean? The next guy that I meet, I'll be a little wary. Sure, I'll be a little, on guard, but I'm not going to just immediately write the dude off because of all the guys that I've dealt with in the past. And I think the fact that she's dealt with so many of them, that's kind of what's going on. I think she was just kind of, she was giving it out. Yeah, I mean, look, I don't want to use harsh language, so I'm just going to say that. But yeah, that's why I think she's kind of a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, if I'm being a little bit honest with you. And I'm like, yeah, that's probably why you're single. Because I ain't going to lie to you. It takes a very, very strong-willed dude to want to stay with a woman like that. And I really think Jordan kind of just understands, like, look, man, I ain't really got it like that. Women ain't really lining up to talk to this nigga. You know what I mean? So he kind of just like, I'm going to take what I got. I'm going to make the best of it. I came on this show because I want to get married. I had a great connection with this girl. She's a little crazy, but it's cool. You know what I mean? She's got a little crazy for Cuckoo Puffs, but it's fine. We're going to figure it out. And I think that's great. And I think her and, she's right here. I think her and Bree kind of share that sentiment a little bit, if I'm being honest with you. I think Bree is the same way. I think Bree, and I saved her for last because I kind of wanted to lump Bree and Amber together because I feel like Bree and Amber were both the type of girls that when they were in their 20s, they got a lot of attention by guys. And I mean a lot of attention. And it was to a point where they felt like, why the fuck am I going to date a guy? Why am I going to be married? I'm just going to be having fun. I'm going to find myself. I'm going to do all this stuff with all these guys and I'll find my guy at the end of the rainbow. And you want to know why? We already went through how it was with Amber, but you want to know how I know this from Bree? This was confirmed by her. All right. This was when it was confirmed when on Love is Blind. Okay. Throughout Love is Blind's history, and then you can go back and you can fact check me all you want. You can go through every single episode. There has never been a time where someone has been like, they go to Cabo and they see all the other couples and they see all the other guys, they see all the other girls, and they're like, why is nobody talking about the fact that we all dated each other? Why is nobody talking about our relationships that we had with each other? Like, because they're over? Because they're done? Because, like, technically we broke up and we have fiancés now? Like, how are you not getting that? You know what I mean? And so that's what I'm saying. It's a thing where it's like, I think she was so used to getting so much attention that she was just eating that fucking shit up. She was like, oh my God, all these guys, I'm dating all these guys at the same time. And it's like I'm back in my 20s again. She was reminiscing, bro. And I think she didn't want to let that go, seeing everybody else and seeing all the other guys. She didn't want to let that go. She wanted these guys to want her while she doesn't want them. You know what I mean? And I can guarantee you that's what was going through her mind in that moment. Guarantee. And I think that's why when Chris, was playing his old cringy ass game on her, I think it worked on her. I think that really tipped the scale for her. And a lot of people agree with me that it tipped the scale for her and it made her really think like, man, do I really want to be with Connor? Do I really want to be with like the cookie cutter, like well put together guy? Or kind of do I want a little more excitement in my life? A guy that might fuck me up and like, beat me at night or something. You know what I mean? or a dude that's just extremely, forward and just like to hell with everybody else. You know what I mean? And I think it's a thing where, she, again, is just not used to like having such a great guy in her life. And I think that's why Connor was looked at so well in such a great light, because compared to the dude that is obviously trying to get with her, bro, if you put Chris and Connor next to each other, yeah, Connor's going to look like a fucking king, dude. You know what I mean? Why? Because this dude just made himself look like a hobbit. Like, let's be real. He made himself look stupid. And the fact that he made himself look so stupid, it props Connor up. You know what I mean? And so, again, that's why I look at it like with her and Amber, I think they have such fucked up mindsets about men, where they look at it like, where Bree is more of just, if you're not toxic and you're not crazy or like threatening shit at me, then this relationship is not real. You know what I mean? Everything that you're saying to me is a lie and you're fake. It's all a psyop. Then you have Amber, where, she's dealt with so many men to where she's just like, oh, I've seen the worst in men. I've seen the most horriblest things in men. So like, since I've seen the most horriblest things in men, then that means all of them are bad and they're terrible and they're just waiting to hurt me because this is Lifetime. And that's just what it's coming down to. So yeah, man, look, if I'm being honest with you, I think the only couple that is worthy, of being together is Vic and Christine. Okay? They're the only couple that's worthy of being together. All these couples do not need to be together. They don't. I'm sorry, bro. They don't. Like, and we'll go through them. Alex, Ashley, nah. Chris, Jessica, well, they already broke up. Connor, Bree, well, they already broke up. Devo, Brittany, they both gonna say no to each other. Let's be honest. Mike, Emma, this one's a wild card. Okay, this one's a wild card. I think Emma's gonna say yes, because Emma looks at it like, even though I don't know myself, like, I feel I know myself, you know what I mean? And I can just reserve the right to kind of change my mind at any time. And, hopefully he's okay with that. But Mike, I don't know if Mike is going to say yes. I really don't know. Mike might be in a position where he feels like, I really love her and we may be able to work it out. See, what I think it is what Mike is thinking. And he's like, okay, I can probably talk her into wanting to have kids. And I think Emma is like, oh, I think I can talk him into not wanting to have kids. You see what I mean? I don't know, bro. I don't know. Like I said, they're the wild card, if I'm being honest. And I think that's kind of why they went first, because they're kind of the wild card couple. And then obviously you have Jordan and Amber. Look, I know Jordan is going to say yes. Amber, I don't know. Just because, again, Amber is one of those, like, hate all men kind of women, because she has dealt with so many men and she's dealt with the like worst side of them, you know what I mean? Because I guarantee you she's just dealt with a lot of dudes who are just, pump and dump, you know what I mean? I guarantee you. And since she's dealt with so many dudes that just pump and dumped her, she has that mindset of like, oh, all men are terrible. Oh my God, they're terrible and want to hurt you because this is Lifetime. So, I don't know, man. I don't know, but we've reached an hour, and that was the whole episode, I guess. I was going to try to get through this, maybe 30 minutes, 40 minutes of it, but there was so much to get through that I wanted to make sure that I had a detailed analysis for you guys. I wanted to have videos to kind of back up some of the stuff that I was saying, just so that way you guys had an idea. A lot of it obviously is in the episodes, and I referred to which points I was talking about in the episodes. So, you can go back and watch those points in the episodes and then kind of see what I'm talking about, and I kind of understand what I'm talking about here. But I try to give you guys a best as I can detailed analysis of the show so far. Tomorrow we'll see how the weddings go, and you guys let me know, who do you think is going to get married, your favorite couple, all that, who you didn't like, who maybe you there was some shit you didn't know about some of these couples and you're just like, holy fuck. So let me know down in the comments. Love you guys. I will see you on Thursday for our book, and that's gonna be it. Love you all. Peace.